It's my great pleasure to be able to share with you Dr. Michael Sheehan, and Michael has taught co-parenting classes in one form or another, or one jurisdiction or another for 35 years, but he has taught them straight through here in our county for the last 17 years. And I might say also I'm asking Michael in his capacity as a clinical psychologist what you see as the typical effects of litigation on a couple already going through the difficult and grief-filled process of ending their intimate relationship.
There just isn't any doubt that litigation over and over and over again damages the relationship between the two parents, sparks and fuels the fire of conflict between the two of them, and the ultimate victims of that are children. And you can see it in the children. You can see it when they walk in the office, and they look an awful lot like the vets that I work with PTSD.
Right.
And I think many of them have PTSD from the fights that they encounter with their parents, and the parents don't even know they're in the room.
And typically, do you find that the overwhelming message the kids are asking to have conveyed to their parents, either by their words or by your assistance to them, is, I need peace in my family. I need peace between my parents. It's not that I definitely need to be at Dad's house by 4 p.m. I've got to have you be a team.
Over and over again, what they tell me is they just want their parents to stop the fight, quit fighting. I mean, when I ask them, what do you want? That's the first thing. But that's the fight that kids get caught in. And I need to identify the liar.
Yeah.
And I need to reject that one and accept the other, which means they're going to reject one of their parents.
Which is part of themselves.
And the parents oftentimes encourage this process and want to identify that other parent to their children as the liar.
Well, let me ask you, Michael, about something you mentioned a moment ago, and that is what the kids care about. Mm-hmm. They would like the fighting to stop. They would like there to be peace. Michael, I should say, introduced me to the 3 girls that you can watch and perhaps have already watched on a piece on our website called
Mm-hmm.
3 Girls Invisible Pain. And these 3 sisters have loads of pain that at the time that they gave that video, their parents just, they were oblivious to. Good parents, loving parents,
right.
But the parents were so caught in their own war. But their names were Megan, Courtney, and Rachel.
That's right.
And this is one of the things they said when I said, what do your parents not get? What do they not understand? And they said, we don't care about where we are on our birthdays. We'd be happy to have 2 birthdays. We'd be happy to, we don't care about anything about they're fighting about. We just like them to get along.
What the conflict does, Charlie, is it takes away family. They're no longer a family. You know, there are these 2 parents going in different directions, each one grabbing for them. And nobody is saying to them, well, wait a second, we're still a family. And somehow we have this notion that divorce has to equal the breaking of a family, and that equals the breaking of a child. When a child loses a family, that child is broken. That is the support system, that is the belief system that this child grows with. I mean, only parents can tell children that there's this fat guy at Christmas that comes down the chimney.
and sell it.
and sell it, because the children are open to the belief of their parents. They readily embrace that belief system. And now they're being thrown into the fight and being told all kinds of things about that other parent that are negative and that they don't want to believe. And who should I believe and who's lying to me? That becomes their world, and that becomes their inner world. And that's why it's so important for those children to learn to express that to their parents and let them know what's going on, because they are the blind spot. They are what the parents don't realize is that they are the danger to their children.
And we also want to say that it's not the children's responsibility to fix this. It may be that the children's voice, if you can, or someone like you, can be of assistance in that. But what we hope is that parents will grasp this themselves. And of course, that's a lot of the point of your classes, of the Up to Parents websites and so forth. My belief is custody evaluations can have the same negative effect on parents and on children that litigation has.
I used to do custody evaluations, and I used to think, I love kids. I used to think, well, I was helping that kid by getting on side with that kid and getting that kid with the right parent. And when I look back, it's absolutely clear that I was doing damage to those children. And and that my own competitiveness had gotten caught up in that system, and that I got hooked, like a lot of guys that have a competitive fire and see this as a place to compete. It wasn't a place to compete. It was a place to take care of children, but the custody evaluation becomes the heart of that competition, and I then became the heart of that competition, and in so doing, I did not serve children well, and there's no doubt in my mind. I believe that custody evaluations are unethical. We ought not be doing them.
And what the kids really need is a healing between
Right.
the parents and a
Right.
partnership between
Right.
the parents. And most custody evaluations don't lead in that direction, is what I would say, any more than litigation does. What are the one or two things that you find most effective to hook a parent who hasn't gotten this message?
I think the single most important thing that for parents to understand is that the conflict that they're going through doesn't hurt their children just temporarily. It hurts them permanently.
They
It
change.
causes them permanent damage, and it isn't conflict per se, it's unresolved conflict. And it's very resolvable just by sitting with the kids and both parents and saying, Mom and I talked it out and we've made an agreement so everything's okay. It's that simple. And yes, it is permanently damaging to children. Permanent.
I would put everything Michael does, and that all the heroes in this area do, under the umbrella of one thing: we help parents return to their natural state as the protectors of their children. These are parents
Rather than the damagers.
The damagers. This is the irony of divorce done wrong, is these are the people who would give their lives to protect their kids. Well, thank you for what you've done today and for decades.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity,
All
Charlie.
right, God bless. Thank you.